You Can Win by Shiv, khera. Welcome to Action Speakers. The contents of You Can Win are Chapter 1, Importance of Attitude, Building a Positive Attitude. Chapter 2, Success, Winning Strategies. Chapter 3, Motivation, Motivating Yourself and Others Every Day. Chapter 4, Self Esteem, Building Positive Self Esteem and Image. Chapter 5, Interpersonal Skills, Building a Pleasing Personality. Chapter 6, Subconscious Mind and Habits, Forming Positive Habits and Characters. Chapter 7, Goal Setting, Setting and Achieving Your Goals. Chapter 8, Values and Visions, Doing the Right Thing for the Right Reason. Chapter 1, Importance of Attitude, Building a Positive Attitude. There was a man who made a living selling balloons at a fair. He had all colors of balloons, including red, yellow, blue, and green. Whenever business was slow, he would release a helium filled balloon into the air, and when the children saw it go up, they all wanted to buy one. They would come up to him, buy a balloon, and his sales would go up again. He continued this process all day. One day, he felt someone tugging at his jacket. He turned around and saw a little boy who asked, "If you release a black balloon, would they also fly?" Moved by the boy's concern, the man replied with empathy, "Son, it is not the color of balloon, it is what is inside that makes it go up." The same thing applies to our lives. It is what is inside that counts. The thing inside of us that make us go up is our attitude. Have you ever wondered why some individuals, organizations, or countries are more successful than others? It is not a secret. These people simply think and act more effectively. They have learned how to do so by investing in the most valuable asset, people. I believe that the success of an individual, organization, or country depends on the quality of their people. I have spoken to executives in major corporations all over the world and asked one question: if you had a magic wand and there was one thing you would want to change that would give you a cutting edge in the marketplace, resulting in increased productivity and profits, what would that be? The answer was unanimous. They all said that if people had better attitudes, they had be better team players, and it cut down waste, improve loyalty, and in general make their company a great place to work. William James of Harvard University said, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of minds. Experience has shown that human resources is the most valuable asset of any business. It is more valuable than capital or equipment. Unfortunately, it is also the most wasted. People can be your biggest asset or your biggest liability." Quality people, TQP. Having been exposed to a number of training programs such as customer service, selling skills, and strategic planning, I have come to the conclusions that all these are great programs with one major challenge: none of them works unless they have the right foundation, and the right foundation is TQP. What is TQP? TQP is total quality people, people with character, integrity, good values, and a positive attitude. Don't get me wrong, you do need all the other programs, but they will only work when you have the right foundation, and the foundation is TQP. For example, some customer services programs teach participants to say please and thank you, give smiles and handshakes. But how long can a person keep on a fake smile if he does not have the desire to serve? Besides, people can see through him, and if the smile is not sincere, it is irritating. My point is, there has to be a substance over form, not form over substance. Without a doubt, one does need to remember please and thank you, the smiles, etc. They are very important, but keep in mind that they come a lot easier when accompanied by a desire to serve. Someone once approached Blaise Pascal, the famous French philosopher, and said, "If I had your brain, I would be a better person." Pascal replied, "Be a better person and you will have my brains." The Calgary Tower stands at 190.8 meters. The total weight of the tower is 10,884 tons, of which 60%, approximately 60%, is below ground. This shows that some of the greatest buildings have the strongest foundations. Just like a great building stands on a strong foundation, so does success. And the foundation of success is attitude. Attitude contributes to success. A study attributed to Harvard University found that when a person gets a job, 80% of the time it is because of their attitude, and only 15% of the time because of how smart they are and how many facts and figures they know. Surprisingly, almost 100% of educational dollars go to teach facts and figures, which account for only 15% of success in life. Success in work. This book is all about that 80% of success. Attitude is the most important word in the English language. It applies to every sphere of life, including one's personal and professional life. Can an executive be a good executive with a good attitude? Can a student be a good student without a good attitude? Can a parent, teacher, salesman, employer, employee be a good in their roles without a great attitude? The foundation of success, regardless of your chosen field, is attitude. If attitude is such a critical factor in success, should not you examine your attitude toward life and ask how your attitude will affect your goals? Here is a story of acres of diamonds. There was a farmer in Africa who was happy and content. He was happy because he was content. He was content because he was happy. One day, a wise man came to him and told him about the glory of diamonds and the power that goes along with them. The wise man said, "If you had a diamond the size of your thumb, you would have your own city. If you had a diamond the size of your fist, you would probably own your own country." And then he went away. That night, the farmer couldn't sleep. He was unhappy and he was discontent. He was unhappy because he was discontent, and discontent because he was unhappy. The next morning, he made arrangements to sell off his farm, took care of his family, and went in search of diamonds. He looked all over Africa and could not find any. He looked all through Europe and could not find any. When he got to Spain, he was emotionally, physically, and financially broke. He got so disheartened that he threw himself into Barcelona River and committed suicide. Back home, the person who had bought his farm was watering the camels at a stream that ran through the farm. Across the stream, the rays of the morning sun hit a stone and make it sparkle like a rainbow. He thought it would look good on the mantelpiece. He picked up the stone and put it in the living room. That afternoon, the wise man came and saw the stone sparkling. He asked, "Is Hafiz back?" The new owner said, "No." "Why do you ask?" The wise man said, "Because that is a diamond. I recognize one when I see one." The man said, "No, that's just a stone I pick up from the stream. Come, I'll show you. There are many more." They went and picked some samples and sent them for analysis. Sure enough, the stones were diamonds. They found that the farm was indeed covered with acres and acres of diamonds. Now, what is the moral of the story? So, there are five morals. Number one, when our attitude is right, we realize that we are all walking on acres and acres of diamonds. Opportunity is always under our feet. We don't have to go anywhere. All we need to do is recognize it. Number two, the grass on the other side always looks greener. Number three, while we are dyeing the grass on the other side, there are others who are dyeing the grass on our side. They would be happy to trade places with us. Number four, when people don't know how to recognize opportunity, they complain of noise when it knocks. Number five, the same opportunity never knocks twice. The next one may be better or worse, but it is never the same. Attitude determines how we look at a setback. To a positive thinker, it can be a stepping stone to success. To a negative thinker, it can be a stumbling block. Great organizations are not measured by wages and working conditions. They are measured by feelings, attitudes, and relationships. When employees say, I can't do it, there are two possible meanings. Are they saying they don't know how to do or they don't want to? If they don't know how to, that is a training issue. If they are saying they don't want to, it may be an attitude issue. They don't care or values issues. They believe they should not do it. A holistic approach. I believe in the holistic approach. We are not an arm and a leg, but a complete human being. The whole person goes to work and the whole person comes home. We take family problems to work and work problems to the family. What happens when we take family problems to work? Our stress level goes up and productivity comes down. Similarly, work and social problems have an impact on every aspects of our lives. Take any one of those items and extrapolate it into sophisticated adult terms and apply it to your family life or your work, of your government, of your world, and it holds true and clear and firm. Factors that determine our attitude. So, are we born with attitudes or we develop them as we mature? What are the factors that form our attitudes? So, if you have a negative outlook on life because of your environment, can you change your attitude? Most of our attitude is shaped during our formative years. There are primarily three factors that determines our attitude. They are environment, experience, education. So, these are called the triple E's of attitude. Let's evaluate each of the factor individually. Environment. Environment consists of the following: home, positive or negative influences; school, peer pressure; work, sportive or overcritical supervisor; media, televisions, newspapers, magazines, radio, movies; cultural background, religious backgrounds, traditions and beliefs; social environment, political environments. So all of these environments create a culture. Every place, be it a home, organization, or a country, has a culture. Have you noticed that sometimes you go to a store and you find the salesperson polite, supervisor, manager, and owner polite as well? Yet you go to another store and you find everyone rude and discourteous. You go to a home and you find the kids and parents well behaved, courteous, and considerate. You go to another home where everyone is fighting like cats and dogs. In countries where the government and political environment is honest, generally you will find that the peoples are honest, law-abiding, and helpful. And the reverse is true too. In a corrupt environment, an honest person has a tough time, whereas in an honest environment, the corrupt one has a tough time. In a positive environment, a marginal performer output goes up because it was motivated. In a negative environment, a good performer's output goes down. Cultural in any place always goes top down. never bottom up. We need to step back and look at which kind of environment we have created for ourselves and those around us. It is tough to expect positive behavior in a negative environment where lawlessness becomes the law, honest citizens become cheats, crooks, and thieves. Is not it time to evaluate the environment that we are in or we have created for others? Experiences. Our behavior changes according to our experiences with people and events in our life. If we have a positive experience with a person, our attitudes towards him becomes positive and vice versa. Education. I refer to both formal and informal educations, not just academic qualifications. Knowledge strategically applies, translates into wisdom, ensuring success. I talk of education in the broader sense. It makes the role of the educator vital. Our teacher affects eternity. The ripple effect is immeasurable. We are drowning in information, but starving for knowledge and wisdom. Education out to teach us not only how to make a living but also how to live. How do you recognize people with a positive attitude? Just like an absence of ill health does not equal good health, an absence of negativity alone does not make a person positive. People with positive attitudes have certain personality traits that are easy to recognize. They are caring, confident, patient, and humble. They have high expectations of themselves and others. They anticipate positive outcomes. A person with a positive attitude is like a fruit of all seasons. He is always welcome. The benefits of positive attitude. These are many and easy to see. But what is easy to see is also easy to miss. To mention a few are positive attitudes. Increase productivity, fosters teamwork, solves problems, improves quality, makes for congenial atmosphere, breeds loyalty, increases profits, foster better relationships with employers, employees, and customers, reduces stress, helps a person become a contributing member of society and an asset to their country, makes for pleasing personality. The consequences of a negative attitude. Our lives is an obstacle course and we become our own biggest obstacle by having our negative attitudes. People with a negative attitude have a hard time keeping friendships, jobs, marriages, and relationships. The attitude leads to bitterness, a purposeless life, ill health, high stress level for themselves and others. They create a negative environment at home and work and become a liability to society. They also pass on their negative behavior to others around them and to future generations. When we become aware of our negative attitude, why don't we change? Human nature generally resists changes. Change is uncomfortable regardless of its positive or negative effects. Change can be stressful. Sometimes we get so comfortable with our negativity that even when the change is for the positive one, we don't want to accept it. We stay with negative. Charles Dickens wrote about a prisoner who stayed for many years in a dungeon. After serving his sentence, he got his freedom. He was brought out from his cell into the bright daylight to face the open world. This man looked all around and after a few moments was so uncomfortable with his newly acquired freedom that he asked to be brought back to his cell into confinement. To him, the dungeon, the chains, and the darkness were more secure and comfortable than accepting the change of freedom and the open world. Steps to building a positive attitude. During childhood, we form attitudes that last a lifetime. Undoubtedly, it would be a lot easier and better to have acquired a positive attitude during our formative years. Does that mean if we acquire a negative attitude, whether by design or by default, we are stuck with it? Of course not. Can we change? Yeah, it is easy. Absolutely not. No, it is not easy, but we can change. How do you build you and maintain a positive attitude? Become aware of the principles that build up a positive attitude. Decide to be positive. Cultivate the discipline and dedications to practice those principles. As adults, regardless of our environments, educations, and experience, who is responsible for our attitudes? We are. We have to accept responsibility sometimes in our lives. We blame everyone and everything but ourselves. It is up to us to choose our attitude every morning. As adults, we need to accept responsibility for our behavior and actions. People with the negative attitudes will blame the whole world, their parents, teachers, the economy, the government for their failures. You have to get away from the past. Dust yourself off. Get back into the mainstream. Put your dreams together and move forward. Thinking of the positive things that are true, honest, and good will put us in the positive state of mind. If we want to build and maintain a positive attitude, we need to consciously practice the following steps. What are these? Change focus. Look for positive. We need to become good finders. We need to focus on positive in life. Let's start looking for what is right in a person or situation instead of looking for what is wrong. Because of our conditioning, we are so attuned to finding fault and looking for what is wrong that we forget to see the positive picture that what is right. Even in paradise, fault finder will find faults. Most people find what they are looking for. If they are looking for friendship, happiness, and the positive, that is what they get. If they are looking for fights or indifference, then that is what they get. Caution: looking for the positive does not mean overlooking faults. Looking for the gold. As a young Scot boy, Andrew Carnegie came to America and started doing odd jobs. He ended up as one of the largest steel manufacturers in the United States. At one time, he had 43 millionaires working for him. Several decades ago, $1 million used to be a lot of money. Even today, it is a lot of money. Someone asked Mr. Carnegie how he dealt with people. Andrew replied, "Dealing with people is like digging gold. When you go digging for an ounce of gold, you have to move tons of dirt to get an ounce of gold. But when you go digging, you don't go looking for the dirt, you go looking for the gold. What is your focus? Become a digger for gold? If you are looking for what is wrong with peoples or with things, you will find many. But what are you looking for?" Andrew Carnegie's reply has a very important message. There is something positive in every person and every situation. Sometimes we have to dig deep to look for the positive because it may not be apparent. Besides, we are so used to looking for what is wrong with others, people, and situations. We forget to see what is right. Someone once said that even a stopped clock is right twice a day. Remember, when you go looking for gold, you have to remove tons of dirt to get to an ounce of gold. But when you go looking, you don't go looking for the dirt, you go looking for the gold. Negative people will always criticize. Some people criticize no matter what. It does not matter which side you are on. They are always on the other side. They have made a career out of criticizing. They have career critics. They criticize as if they will win a prize at a contest. They will find fault with every person and every situation. You will find people like this is in every home, family, office. They go around finding faults and telling everybody how bad things are and blaming the whole world for their problems. We have a name for these people. They are called energy suckers. They will go to the cafeteria area and drown themselves in 20 cups of tea and coffee and smoke to their hearts. Contents with one excuse: they are trying to relax. All that they are doing to is causing more tension for themselves and for others around them. They spread negative messages like a fog and create an environment conducive to negative results. Robert Fulton invented the steamboat on the banks of the Hudson rivers. He was displaying his new invention. The pessimists and the skeptics were gathered around to observe. They commented that it would never start. Lo and behold, it did. As it made its way down the river, the pessimist who said it would never go started shouting that it would never stop. What an attitude! Some people always look for the negative. There was a hunter who bought a bird dog, the only one of its kind in the world.